Bronco Nation, what's going on? And good afternoon. It's another Inside the Stable episode. This is our first one back from the trip from Florida. Has been a little while, but we had to handle some things in the background, get everything together. But I wanted to welcome everybody back here tonight and welcome all the new people and all the returning people to the stable. Um, we're talking about Cleveland tonight, and the Broncos. Not only just a team that is on the verge of trying to repeat, but a team that has a lot to prove and a lot to do. With a championship mindset, with championship results, and now we're here again. Same goal, new season, even bigger targets, moving up to that 3A spot. But this year it feels a little bit different. But that's not because we're just running it back with the same team. This is a new era. We finished off the Ohio Bronco era with that Florida trip, and now we've merged over to that Cleveland Broncos. The Cleveland Broncos have officially merged with the Rams. I don't know if everyone has heard that, but I definitely want to let that be widely spread. With bringing together talent, experience, and depth that you don't see too often on this level. And with teams like that combining, it's not about just adding new players. It's about building new chemistry, building trust, and figuring out individuals and the talent up on one another. And with that, we have a great season in store for you guys, and a great show for tonight. We'll start it off with this Saturday. The Cleveland Broncos will be in that Cuyahoga Cup once again, but not as the underdogs, and not as the defending champions, but as the Cleveland Broncos. But everybody watching, the question is, can we do it again? Can we win the cup again? This will be the first test that we do have early on in the season, and this will be able to see if all those practices and all those meetings and all those conversations that we have had in the offseason have came to fruition of what we want to see. Um, excuse me. We got new coaches, we got new ownership up top, but we still got the same goal, and none of that's gonna ever change. We're just gonna keep going, keep striving. We got the same grit, same grind, same everything. Only thing that's changed is the name in front of it, which is Cleveland. All right. So we do have a couple sponsors that I do want to shout out before we bring on a couple players. We do got a couple players here tonight that are going to give their insight on, how they feel about, things going on in the background and how they feel about the season that's going to come up ahead of them. But before we do that, I would definitely like to give a shout out to Just a Dad. That is a Akron-based clothing company that we have. Major shout out to my guy Kenny Lambert. Just a Dad is not only just a clothing brand that is in the Akron area. It has true testament behind it with Kenny himself, known for reaching out to the community and doing things of that nature. He was inspired to create this brand behind his daughter Amelia and reconnecting with God after going through his hardships and addiction and homelessness. He was able to pull himself together and build this and build something for his family and something that he wants to leave a legacy for. And that's something that the Cleveland Broncos could stand behind because that's who we are. We love to show grit, we love to show grind. We definitely love to show resilience in times of hard battles, and that's something that we would love you guys to support. Just a Dad is in the Akron-based area. As you can see, it's a big team behind it, a big community behind it, and we would definitely love the Cleveland Bronco fans, family, and everybody in the stable. Just go ahead and support that. If you can go ahead and search that up on Facebook, Just a Dad, give them guys a like, give them guys a follow on any social media platforms. Also, we have another sponsor that I do want to shout out, and that's Quality Scrubs. A big sponsor for the Cleveland Broncos, and something that we all need just to stay a little clean. We know them cars get dirty. We know we be doing the ripping and running. So definitely make sure that you check out Quality Scrubs. We have 5 locations spread across the Akron area, and they're open to new business. So definitely make sure that you guys stop in there and get your cars cleaned. There were locations right there. We got one on State Road. We got the Frank location. We got the Hawkins location, the Town location, and the Gank location. So you see the hours up there on the screen. If you're anywhere in that area and you definitely support the Cleveland Broncos, make sure that you stop in there and get that car washed for us. But without further ado, what everybody's here to see, what everybody's here to listen to is the players behind the face mask. You know, usually this ain't like basketball. You can't really see the faces too often. So when we do get the opportunity to shed the light on those guys, we definitely want to make sure we can do that. And with that, without further ado, I'm gonna bring on our first guest. We got my guy Tony. Very versatile guy, tight end, wide receiver, and just a hardworking man. You see, he's at work right now, and still been able to get on this. So we definitely appreciate it, Tony. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you, Coach?
Oh, we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Let's try to close out, then come back into the league.
Can you hear me now?
All right, while we got that going, if there's anybody in the comment section that looking forward to this game this weekend, we definitely want to see you guys pop out to that. Tony, let's try to close your web browser and then come back into it. It looks like he froze. He might have did that. All right, while we wait for Tony, I just want to give a shout out to the guys that I see popping up. I see Reggie Rogers on there. I definitely appreciate you for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in, make sure you share this. This is spread this to as many people as possible. Oh, we got two of
Can you
Tony
hear me
now.
now?
Hey, I still can't hear you, Tony.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? My little microphone down here, every time I talk, it's showing the green.
We still
Like
can't
it's
hear
picking
you.
up on it.
Okay. So it seems like we're having a little bit of technical
You
difficulties
have
with
me.
that. We'll go
You
ahead
have
and
me
get that
muted.
figured out in the background. Well, while we do that, like I said, we're gonna pay some bills. Let's cut to a sponsor while we figure out some of those things that's going on in the background.
You have me muted.
All right, and we are back. I thank everybody for bearing with us. It's like I said, it's the first show back from Florida. I think the computer still wants to be on vacation right along with us, but it's definitely go time.
Check, check.
Can you hear me, Tony?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I definitely cannot hear you. I don't know why I can't hear
I'm
you.
showing the green bars.
I'm hearing that you're being able to be heard by everybody else besides me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
We are back.
Check, check.
Oh yeah, we're
Can you,
back.
can you hear
It
me?
wouldn't be a show without technical difficulties, man. That's you
Yeah.
gotta love technology, bro.
You can hear me now?
I can definitely hear you now.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Oh,
Sorry
perfect,
about that.
perfect. Nah, you're good. Like I said, without further ado, we got Tony, plays wide receiver and tight end for us. Just got a couple quick questions for you heading into the season. I just want to pick your brain and see what your mindset is and how you're feeling about things, and just kind of go from there. You play both tight end and wide receiver. How does that change your mindset depending on where you're lining up?
So I know obviously on the line I got to deal with the big boys, if I'm doing that, but at the same time, I once I release, I'm gone, nobody's following me. So I feel like it's a good opportunity to get open on the pass plays and do what I can, one of the stronger wide receivers, so do what I can as far as the blocking scheme goes and the run game and that sort of thing.
For
But
sure. And when you're spread it out wide, what does that feel like? The difference between being tight to those guys in the trenches to now you're on your own little own little island.
yeah, a lot more at home. I've always been a slot receiver, so yeah, make things happen with my old age and my wisdom. As far as making people miss or just getting open, making them open their hips.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot
Does
to it.
that does that does that being out there versus being on that line, does that change your mindset, or does that change your physicality, or is that all stay consistent no matter where you're lining up on that field?
Oh yeah, I love being when I'm wide and they got a corner pressed up on me. I'm ready to get hands with them and show them
Start licking
what I
them
can do on
chops.
that side. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm at home at wide receiver. Give me the ball. I'm
For
the for
sure.
sure down guy.
For
And then I'm
sure.
trying to run some people over. I'll make a couple people miss too, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I definitely was a witness to that in that Florida trip. You definitely not a guy that's easy to tackle. With that being said, what is a part of your game that you feel people underestimate? With seeing you on that line, playing tight end, tight to them, and then also being out there. Some people may underestimate some things about you, but what is one thing that you feel like is strongly underestimated?
I'd say getting in and out of breaks. I'm somewhat graceful with it to where it's not like a jerky movement, but I'm creating separation a lot quicker than most people anticipate. So,
Yeah,
sometimes it just, couple head fakes, open up my hips, make them think I'm going one way, go the other. And then that first, second step, I got fairly strong legs. So I got short acceleration there. So
yeah,
create
yeah,
that separation. And then the
yeah.
hands too. Obviously I got the hands, but
Yeah, and I was gonna speak on the hands, and what a usual tight end build is kind of similar to an offensive lineman, just more athletic built version of it. And you're more of a slender, strong type. Do you think that helps your catch radius, or do you think that helps you with being able to catch those balls, and that's why you're versatile on both sides of that?
yeah, I mean, I used to play baseball and stuff too. So when it comes to like when the ball's in the air, I have a bigger catch radius because I know exactly where it's going. I adjust super early, create
Mhm,
separation. If I got to push off, I'll push off,
mhm.
But yeah,
Make sure we don't get that call. We'll make sure that they
yeah,
don't they
yeah.
don't see
I
that
mean,
push
I
off.
may have had 3 penalties in the past 5 years. So, I
Oh yeah.
definitely try to be a team player and not get those penalties when I don't have to.
Yeah, well, definitely playing in them trenches. You know how to hide your hands a little bit. Definitely know how to pull a jersey here and there without getting that call.
Yeah, if I
With
have to.
going into this weekend, we got the Coyote Cup. Playing the Rapids, very good team. They're very disciplined. We got some of the coaches from the last year's staff onto that team. What do you feel like? They know who you are. They know they've seen you. Where do you feel like you can make an impact on the offense where maybe they're not looking?
Um, I mean, I actually played with them beginning of last year. I didn't know what team I was going to when the Gladiators folded. So I was practicing with both teams, so they kind of know my skill set on that side. It's kind of hard to. I mean, I've been in the league for 17 years now, so it's kind of hard to hide any type of skill set. They know I'm going to get physical. They know I'm going to try and run some people over. I don't really know exactly what to say on that.
Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure.
What to
And,
separate.
yeah. So what are some personal goals and what are some team goals that you have set for the season?
So I'm captain this year, so I definitely want to step up on that front. I usually try to step up anyway. As far as like leading stretches, being positive, keeping people from fighting and stuff like that. But you know, main thing I would say is, I guess all that I just said. I want to keep
Yeah,
the
no, for
team
sure.
together, keep the camaraderie. Doing it this long, when I look into a team, I want a team that is working together as a family. We're
For
not
sure.
starting fights all day, every day. So if we can kind of keep the negativity out, then we're going to be a great team. Going into the year and throughout the whole year. It's going to take some time though.
100%.
We're a big mesh of a team right now between the Rams and us. So,
Yeah.
hopefully I get to know some people and grow on that front.
And that's kind of leads into my next question. You said you have 17 years of experience playing at this level of football, and I know you've seen your mergers, your folds, and your in betweens. What doing all that experience? What are you personally going to do to? I know you said you're going to make sure guys aren't fighting. You're going to do all that, but what are some things that you're going to do on the field to make sure that you're helping that gel? You're in that huddle or maybe on the line with some calls or something like that. What are some things that maybe you feel like you can bring to help bring that team to the next level?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's 11 players. If we all do our job, we're in a good spot. So I got to do my job first. And then, if someone makes a bad play, pick them up. If they make a good play, high five. And then adjustments. So adjustments used, especially in semi-pro. Most teams aren't the greatest at it. I played college ball, played high school. When you're disciplined and you're taught those things, you learn those things. Then you can make more adjustments or see things a lot better, a lot clearer that others might not. So if we can, in between offense or defense, get together, make those adjustments, let the coaches know what I see, when the time's right,
100%.
and like I said, stay positive. So
Okay.
that's what I would bring.
Nah, for sure, Tony. You answered the questions flawlessly, brother. I can't wait to see you Saturday. Can't wait to get out there and battle with you guys. I've been out there once with you, and I would definitely say it was an experience. It was definitely a pleasure. I know you're at work, so we won't
Appreciate it.
hold you too much longer. If there's
Oh, this is the
anything
end
that
of
you want to
work,
say,
so
if there's anything that you want to say to the Bronco fans before we get you out of here, this is your time to shed the floor.
Yeah, I mean, show up to the game if you're not a player. Hopefully come support us in the stands. I'm hoping for it to be another blowout like last year. I think we had like 8 or 9 interceptions on them. But it's a whole new year, new teams on both sides. They got some of our good guys. They got Putty, and some of our good players there. So,
For sure.
as long as we can stick together, keep the positive mindset, keep the team, going together, then I think we'll come out on top. And then
Yes, sir.
that's pretty much it. Hopefully we can carry that
Yes,
in
sir.
through the season too, and start off with a big win now and take it from there.
Yes, sir. I love it. Well spoken. All right, Tony. I do appreciate you for your time. We will see you Saturday, and let's just keep going.
Appreciate you.
All right, brother. All right, that is Tony, tight end and wide receiver. Like I say, make sure you guys are on the lookout. Very experienced guy, very good guy. Like I said, I got to coach him in the Florida trip. It was definitely a great experience. Making sure we looking forward to seeing him out there this season. What we're going to do right now is cut to another sponsor, pay a couple bills, and then after that, we are going to bring on Brandon Wallace, offensive lineman. We'll see you guys. All right, fellas. I'm sorry. I was over reading the comments and stuff. Brandon, my boy, what's up, man?
It's going. How you doing?
Oh, brother, I'm here, man. I am here. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Excited for Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm super excited for Saturday. Excitement's been building up since we touched back to Ohio from that Florida trip. Just been game planning and working and getting our things together and having all these practices and meetings and all this stuff. But I'm definitely ready to get the boots on the ground and get the season going. It's got a couple quick questions. Same thing I'm gonna do. Just like I did with Tony, just get a little feel for you. I like a lot of guys don't get to see the guys behind the face mask, so this is just our time to shed some light on you guys and anything that you want to say. The floor is yours, so don't be afraid to speak your mind. But as an offensive lineman, what are some of the biggest things that come with doing that job?
Kind of depends where I'm at. I can play both right and left side, so depends where coach wants me. I can kind of do either or. Um, Learning every spot because I don't know where I'm going to play. Um, Kind of figuring things out one thing at a time, and hopefully everyone
Yeah,
can work with me.
for sure. What is your biggest focus when it comes to protecting your quarterback in the game?
It's hard to say because we do run a lot of different plays. My biggest focus is the person next to me. Hopefully, we work well together. We can talk. We can communicate. The whole line communicates, so we can figure out where everything's coming from and what pressure's coming from where, and we can adjust.
Yeah, and that kind of segues into my next question. How do you and the rest of the line communicate to those adjustments pre-snap? Let's say we break the huddle and we're at the line. What are some things that you're looking for and that you're gonna key into to help that quarterback be protected or that running back get some yards?
I don't really know how these guys play. I haven't played them yet. I didn't play them last year with you guys. I had other things going on. So just kind of in the moment to see who's showing where and kind of where pressure's coming from the first couple of plays.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And what are some of the biggest improvements that you would say coming from last year's Brandon to this year's Brandon that we will be able to see?
Definitely communicating a lot better. Uh, Last year, just got my own head a lot, overthought a lot of things, and hopefully not going to do that shit this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That definitely can bring us all down, and no matter what situation, getting ourselves down, and we have to just move on to the next play. I preach that to even my boys, my sons. Next play in real life, no matter what it is, a school test, a fumble ball, a given up sack, or anything, it's on to the next play. We have to just live on to the next play until that clock blows. Um, when people watch this game, they focus on the touchdowns, but what should they understand more about the play than just the touchdown?
That's hard because we all know lineman doesn't get the loves that they deserve. If
For
the line
sure,
ain't there, it's develop. I mean,
for sure. The line is like the most important but the least loved out there.
oh, for
There,
sure.
there,
I mean,
there.
everywhere when
Yeah,
you make a sandwich, you need that bread to start. When that if the bread's not there, then what's
right,
going to happen?
right, right. And you spoke about the guy next to you. Let's say they give up a sack, or maybe they don't hit that gap, or move up to the next guy. How are you as a leader going to be able to motivate or teach in that moment to that guy? What are some things that you're giving tidbits, or some things that you said, or some things that you maybe heard in the past that helped you?
The biggest thing is keep your head on it. I mean, everyone's got to focus on what they got to do. If you need help, ask questions. If you don't know what you're doing, ask. I'm more than happy to tell you, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely, especially being in them trenches. And a lot of people don't understand how physical it is to be in those trenches, play by play. What do you believe is the most underestimated part of playing in that line?
It's them far breaks. Every time the lineman's got to run down there and we got to get set for the next one. Unless it's a touchdown, I don't want to go that far.
So that cardio is the killer. It seems like.
I think
Um,
the cardio is a big killer for all linemen.
Well, let's just hope when we're breaking for a touchdown. Because
I'm hoping.
getting back to that, getting back to that line is definitely difficult. And with you playing all different positions on that line, where would you say your favorite position is on that line?
Guard or tackle, really. Doesn't matter
Okay,
what side, doesn't matter
left or
who
right.
left, guard or tackle.
Okay. And would you say you're a pulling guard?
I would love to be a pulling guard. I did it in high school. We do a little bit here and there. Pulling for me, it's just a second nature.
Hey, everybody, fun fact, Brandon doesn't not let me know this every time I see him. He scored a touchdown running the ball in high school. So he told me I owe him one. So I got to make sure he gets in the end zone with the ball, not driving
At least
someone
once.
with the ball.
At least once.
At least one time. All right, Brandon. If there's one thing that people don't know about you that you would love for them to know in this moment, what is one thing?
Outside of football, I'm a pretty nice guy. During football, unless you're my team, we ain't friends. I mean,
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, definitely linemen got to be the meanest guys out there. They got to set the tone. They got to be the guys that keep the drive going, keep everything going. It is on the quarterback to keep the mentality there, but you guys have to keep the physicality there. So I can definitely see why you have to turn that game face on. But Brandon, I won't keep you too much longer, brother. I do appreciate you for even coming on here and spreading your knowledge and spreading what you have been through and what you are looking forward to. Actually, one question I didn't get to ask you this: what is one thing that you're looking forward to, or a couple of things that you're looking forward to going into this season? We just had this merger. You guys coming off a championship, but now you guys bringing a bunch of new guys into the locker room. What are some things that you're looking forward to?
I'm hoping the other team's used to communicating with everyone, and we all can sit down after the plays, after the down, and we can figure out what's going on, just in case something does go happen or something's wrong. We can figure it out as a team, and if not, hopefully the next person can step up.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys coming with the brand new quarterback, a couple of different running backs. We still got Will back there, but we do have some other rotational guys that will be in that backfield. Do you feel like that's going to be a challenge for you to adapt to maybe his the quarterback's play style, or maybe the running backs hitting the holes in different ways than what you're used to?
Every running back doesn't hit the hole the same way. It could be a run up the middle, and somehow one way or another they'll find a way to bump it outside. If it's an outside run, they'll run it up the middle. I mean, no running back runs the same way ever.
For sure, for sure. And like I touched on the quarterback. So, maybe with your last quarterback, you knew once maybe 3-1,000, he may be rolling out. With you having a brand new quarterback, are there going to be some major adjustments that you have to come into? Do you feel like that's going to be a challenge for you?
I don't think it's much of a challenge for any of our linemen. I think we all are pretty smart and we know pretty well that we can kind of just adjust as we're going.
Yeah, for sure. I've been around the guys. You guys are beasts in the trenches. You guys definitely keep it going, and I've seen you guys move on the fly and do everything that has been asked of you guys. But like I said, I won't keep you too much longer, Brandon. I definitely appreciate you. And if everybody is watching, definitely make sure you guys come check out our guys in the trenches because they do put in work day in and day out at them practices, and just show them guys some love. And Brandon, I do owe you one. I said I was gonna give you one in Florida, but it didn't happen. But I'll make sure me and Chip can make something happen.
I'm hoping.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. And we'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
All right, man. All right. That was my guy, Brandon Wallace. Very good guy. Since day one, he's been very welcoming to me. I definitely appreciate the love that he's shown me. Him and also his dad. His dad is the lineman coach for us. So from day one, those guys have been very welcoming, very great guys. The guys in the trenches definitely deserve some love. Those are definitely the most unappreciated guys from outsiders looking in, but insiders looking out. We definitely appreciate the trenches 100%, because we know that's where the game starts. It doesn't win without the good trenches. If you can't win the bottom of the trenches, you can't even move the ball. This game is a game of inches, so that is definitely something that we appreciate. But we will pay some more bills, and we will see you guys in about 30 seconds inside the stable. All right, all right, all right. We are back. Can't wait for Saturday. I know we're talking about it. I know we're hyping it up, but as I talk about it more, the excitement builds. I know Facebook posts have been made. I know different little sites and blogs have put expectations on us, but the expectations inside the Broncos has grown to a new level, especially with this merger. And this is just the first test of where we're going to be at this season. So if you guys are in the area, definitely make sure you come show out for the Cleveland Broncos and watch us take on the Cuyahoga Rapids in another Cuyahoga Cup. Trying to go 2-0 in this cup. With that being said, we're going to bring on another guest that we got, a newer member to the Broncos organization, but probably known out there in the semi-pro world. We're going to bring on James Gardner. James,
What's up?
how you feeling, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. How you?
Oh man, I'm here. I'm loving it. Loving every second of it. Couldn't wish for anything different.
Hello?
I can hear you. I just can't see you. I don't know if you what happened to your camera. I don't know if he cut out. I do want to shout out some of the people that I do see in the comments. We got Lynn out there, Will, Lauren, my dude Jimmy, Trevor. We do appreciate all you guys commenting and being here. Actually, shout out Lynn, my guy. He plays with Charles in the arena football and the Ohio Legends. Last week, I do heard, you can fact check me. I heard he had 4 touchdowns, and he is a Cleveland Bronco, so we definitely want to shout that out. We good, James?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. All right, man. This is one of the newest members to the Broncos organization, but like I say, well known out there in the semi-pro world. And we're just gonna go ahead and dive into a couple things, ask a couple questions, and just get everybody a little bit more familiar with you.
Okay.
All right. And you play defensive end, and when you're, pass rushing, what is it? What is your mindset? Are you reacting? Are you just attacking?
Really just dominate. Your opponent every single rep. Have opportunity to play against some good offensive linemen. Brandon Wallace, he's a great offensive lineman, great tackle. So to be able to have that type of competition and just going in and just trying to win every rep, I think that's what matters the most for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely playing against guys that are skilled, and we're moving up to that 3A. You're definitely going to see a lot of good linemen, maybe different couple
Yes.
schemes on that offensive lineman. What is the hardest part about consistently winning at that line of scrimmage?
Just paying discipline and just violence. You know what I mean? Every single play, like you have to go your hardest because you have somebody
Yeah,
that's trying to stop you, from getting to the quarterback or getting to the ball in general. So it just whoever wants it more every single rep. You know what I mean? So that's
100%.
why conditioning is very important. Having those long games and long battles is just who can make that last play that can change the game.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. With you coming over to the Broncos from the Rams, you got a couple new guys that you've never seen, and a couple guys that you have played with before. How has that merger been on you?
It's been pretty chill. For me, I'm just like the best athletes on the field. You know what I mean? We both from come two different teams, 3A and 2A. You guys was the Broncos was the championship in 2A, and we was, fighting for the 3A spot. In the playoffs. So I feel like we both have talent that we can come together, that we have run together, to actually win it in 3A. So, we just show up and just, play ball. Everything else, don't matter.
100%, 100%. When you're watching film and studying these offensive linemen before the games, what are some of the techniques that you're looking at, or some of the things that you're looking at to try to exploit?
Uh, First is their feet. If they slow off the
Yeah,
ball, they fast off the ball. First they like to move. Then from there, you can try to see, how physical they are at the line of scrimmage, how fast they come off the ball. You can kind of work certain techniques, different techniques against different players, because sometimes you may be going up against a 6'4", 300-pound tackle, and then a next game you got a 5'8", 225-pound tackle. So you got to be able to
yeah.
switch it up, with your techniques, because some days may be easier than some days may be harder.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And with like you saying, you going against different type of skill sets and different type of mentalities. Also, in offensive alignment, some offensive linemen are more aggressive than others. Some are,
Yes.
more lackadaisical. When you're going into that, do you believe that it's more about your pure speed, or do you believe it's about your knowledge of the game?
I think the put it over the top is the knowledge of the game, I would say, and then it comes to the speed, the strength, things of that nature. When it comes to the physical, because I feel like 90% of the game is knowledge, and then the other 10% is how your physical ability. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And from there, you just try to find a way to make it work, and be the best player that you can.
100%, 100%. And,
Yeah.
and and when you're going one on one with a lineman, not getting double teamed, not extra help, what's your go-to move?
Man. Um, I might depending on the lineman, I might just hit him with pure speed off the side. And then if it's a bigger lineman, I do the speed, and then I'll power rush them, bull rush them. I think, just to show them that, I'm more than just speed. You know what I mean? Off the edge,
Yeah,
and set the tone for the whole defense.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Now, when you get a sack or a big pressure, how does that change the energy of you and the whole defense?
I don't know. For me personally, me personally, I feel like it's my job to do that. So I don't really I don't really get too hyped when I make plays like that, because I feel like I'm supposed to make those plays. So, but I know when I do make those plays for my team, that gets them hype. And then now it's a competitive vibe. Like, all right, we can do this. We got to step our games up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that's how I look at it.
Yes, sir. And in a game important like this, I know it's the first game of the season, but it definitely has a lot of weight for the area of where we're at in that Cleveland Cuyahoga area. How important is it for the defensive line to dominate early?
Um, Very important. Like I said, it sets the tone for the whole team pretty much. Defense wins championships. So for us, we got a new mix of guys off of both teams. Obviously, we lost some guys to other teams, but for the most part, I feel like we have what we need to make that push. For me personally, right now, I'm just taking it a game at a time.
For sure.
Cuyahoga Rapids, they're a great 2A team. They on the rise themselves with their situation that they got going on over there, and they're not coming in, looking to take a L. So
Yeah,
they
for
coming to
sure.
really show out, on Saturday. So for us, we just gotta just continue to do what we do, and
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's week in and week out, no matter whose name is on that other jersey across from us. We got to definitely just show in and show out.
Yeah,
And I got just two more questions for you, brother, and I'll get you up out of here.
no problem.
With the merger, do you feel like this is extra pressure or extra motivation going into that new season with all the players coming together and all that?
I think it's extra motivation. You know what I mean? Because we was able, I think both sides, the Broncos and the Rams, they both had spots on the offensive line, or athletes wise in the receiver room or DB room. Like we was able to kind of connect the dots with what both teams were missing. Broncos they brought a lot more structure. With Coach Abe as the head coach, he's doing a good job right now as far as keeping
Shout
everything
out to A.
structured. Almost, yeah, almost like a college type vibe. We doing this right here for 10, 15 minutes. Like he's building structure. So for me, I'm very excited. I think it motivates the team to
Yes.
have all of us here together. So I'm looking for us to dominate every week.
Yes, sir. And what statement would you like to leave on that field this Saturday?
Dominate. That's it. What I mean, we coming to take over.
Yeah.
What I mean, anybody that step on our field, they gonna get smashed.
100%.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
definitely the motivation
That's
and
it. Yeah.
the mindset that we all want to keep. Just keep
Yeah.
grinding, no matter what happens. We're gonna keep gritting, keep grinding, and keep pushing. And one or two goals that you have personally for yourself this season.
Just continue to perfect, my craft at wherever position they got me at the time, and just being the best teammate possible. You know what I mean, and making sure that I'm setting the example on the field, and even off the field as well. But just being the best teammate, and doing what I need to do, and just stay disciplined.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, James, I wasn't gonna keep you too much longer. I definitely appreciate you for answering the questions. I will see you Saturday, brother. We're gonna make sure
Yes,
we get
sir.
out there
Appreciate you for
early,
having me.
get
Yeah.
out there and get everything that we need to get done, and get our minds together. Let's keep our bodies together, keep our minds together before Saturday, after Saturday, going into this whole season. Let's just make sure that we keep attacking our goals and keep attacking what we got ahead of us, because we got a long season with us in that 3A schedule. We definitely got a couple of heavy hitters on our schedule, so let's just make sure we keep that mentality of dominate, like you said. And you just keep pushing that to your brothers and everybody that's on that sideline, even the coaches, when they, some of the moments, as coaches, sometimes we get down and sometimes, we have to adjust with ourselves and, talk within ourselves. And as players, sometimes you can give us that extra motivation. So having that dominate mindset is definitely something that we love and definitely appreciate. So I appreciate you for coming on here. We will see
Yes,
you
sir.
Saturday.
Appreciate you.
And
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
y'all look out for James, man, in that backfield, because that's definitely where he's gonna be at.
For sure. For
All
sure.
right, we'll see you.
Yeah.
All right, Bronco fans. We've had a long show, but we also had a great show. It's been a long time waiting to actually see us hit the field. I know it's a lot of talk out there. It's a lot of pressure that's built up from the outside. But what we got going on in the inside, we'll never weary. We'll never shy away from that. Um, we'll just keep going and continue striving to hit our goals. Jimmy has built something so great here, bringing Coach Abe in. Um, Demario also with bringing his guys in and the mindset and the things that they've brought into it. Everybody being able to gel so well. It's just been a blessing to be a part of. I will speak for myself and say that it is a blessing. Learning from Coach Chip to even doing these shows with Q, it's all a blessing, and I don't think that none of us are going to take it for granted. We have a very, very tough road ahead of us, but I don't think that's anything that will put any fear in our heart. Just a little extra motivation, just a little bit more to get over that hump. We know what the outside expectations are for us, but the inside expectations are 10 times higher. And we're just going to keep striving every week, every game, and every play. You will see us go harder, go stronger, and just dominate. Like my guy James said, that's just the mindset of the Cleveland Broncos. Um, Anything outside of that, it's just noise, you know. We'll pay attention to what's on that play sheet, what's on that field, and between them hashes. And that's just who we are, and that's just who we always will be. Continue to strive, continue to go. Trying to do a repeat, even though we're moving up to from 2A to 3A, but still a champion is a champion. So we'll try to do that repeat as if nothing ever happened. We got new guys, we got new faces, same goal. Cleveland Broncos, We will see you guys Saturday. And then we're gonna be back next week. I know we took a little break from doing these shows. We had to, handle a couple things in the background, but every week you will see one of these shows. We'll bring players on. We'll talk about the game that happened the week and prior. We'll talk about the week that we have coming up, and we'll just keep going from there, and continue to grow this fan base, continue to grow the family that we have here. And one more time, I do want to give a shout out to the 2 sponsors that we do have. We do have that Just a Dad, ran by Kenny Lambert. Make sure you guys do check out that. If you are in the Akron area, if you're in the Ohio area, wherever you're at, make sure you do check that out, and try to find them and, get some of those custom shirts that they do have going on. And then we also do have the quality scrubs. If you're in the Akron area, they do have 5 locations that you guys can check in, and just make sure that you support the Cleveland Broncos in any way that you can. I know at the games, they may have maybe some merch and stuff here and there. So make sure you grab some of that. And just keep the name alive. Cleveland Broncos are here to stay, and we're trying to take over the Northeast area. With me being a Warren, Ohio native, I definitely love to see that Northeast coming together and trying to build something great and change the narrative on a lot of this level of football. It's a lot of stigma of guys aren't serious, guys don't do this, guys don't do that. But just as James said, Coach Abe is trying to change that narrative. You guys is running as if we're in a college style. Things are broken down to the point where, players are being held accountable for small actions. And I think that's just something that we want to trickle down to every team that we either play, come across, or someone is here, then goes somewhere else can, take that mindset with them. So we're here. I know I'm just rambling, but I love you guys. We'll see you guys Saturday, and this is Inside the Stable.